Linda McHenry, host of The Writer's Voice, and my guest today is Gregory Wolos. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Now, Gregory is a short story writer, so he's going to talk about short stories and the writing process today. And he's also going to tell us his story about how he went from his former career to writing full-time. But first, he has a wonderful book and a wonderful book cover he's going to share with us. Why don't you tell us about that?
This is the cover of my second story collection, Dear Everyone. And the cover is by Suzanne Riette Keith. And I happened to see the painting. It's a very small painting, and actually a collage in a gallery. And I wound up buying the painting itself. It now hangs in a proud spot in the home.
So tell us why you chose to write short stories.
The muse may have selected me. I didn't select it.
Okay.
I have always enjoyed reading short stories. Some of my favorite authors as a kid were short story writers. As I matured as a reader, I always found that it was short stories that appealed to me. They contained the complexity of a novel, in my mind, the best ones, but they did it in obviously much less time. So they gave me a lot to think about in a short amount of time. I don't know if you want to call it a short attention span, but
well, I was just going to say, I think you're selling yourself short, because when we've been talking in the past, you've said that many of your short stories, when your first draft is thousands and thousands and thousands of words. Maybe you can share your process of starting out with such a large manuscript and then sculpting it down.
But my general approach to things is to, and I think this is true of a lot of writers, is to be an observer of what's going on around me. It's like the wallflower at the party who is like leaning on the back of the wall, watching what's going on, and always has a much better idea of what the party was about than the revelers.
So now you haven't always been a short story writer. You had another career before you were a full-time writer. Why don't you talk about what you did and how you made the transition? Because
got my master's in English ed and became a high school teacher, wound up teaching for 31 years. And I actually made a kind of deal with my wife. I would retire when I could, when I hit retirement age at 55, and I would work full-time on my writing then.
So the thing about Men is coming out in the spring, did you tell me?
It's coming out sometimes in this year.
When you get the date, let me know. We can let everybody know. People can find you online at your website, gregorywolos.com. Is that right?
That's correct.
And are you on social media at all? Facebook or Twitter or any of that stuff?
I have a Twitter account at Gregory Wolos.
Okay.
Not too complicated.
Okay, there you go. That's where you are. Well, thanks for chatting with me today. It's been fun, and I will hope to see you again in the future.
Yeah, I enjoyed this very much. Thank you.
Thank you.